From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, the FDA is on its way to approving the nation's second COVID-19 vaccine. The agency will review a vote by an outside advisory committee on Moderna's vaccine. The panel approved the serum yesterday. The head of the FDA says the agency will move quickly to grant the vaccine emergency use authorization. It could even happen by the end of today. Now, once that happens, Moderna will begin shipping millions of doses across the country. Health authorities report another 4 Montanans have died from COVID-19 related illness, bringing the state death toll to 894. As of today, there are now more than 76,000 total cases in our state. That's an increase of 406 from yesterday. 275 people remain in the hospital. That number dropped by 31. The latest deaths were reported in Lewis and Clark, Dawson, and Missoula counties. Well, unless some serious progress can be made today, it looks like Congress will have to meet for an emergency session this weekend. That would be needed to avoid a government shutdown and to approve a much-needed COVID relief deal. Americans anxiously wait on the $900 billion package. It would provide help to small businesses, $300 weekly unemployment checks, and $600 stimulus payments to most people. Lawmakers are hopeful they can reach a compromise with a temporary funding bill to also keep the government open, which is set to expire at midnight. Well, those hopeful lawmakers include Montana Senior Senator Jon Tester, who seems to like the proposed deal. Senator Tester says it looks like entertainment venues in Montana, among other items, may finally get their share of pandemic help. Tester is among the lawmakers pushing to get stimulus assistance for the entertainment industry, which was left out of the CARES Act last spring.
I think that this is a good package. There's going to be money for hospitals, which is really important. There's going to be money for schools. With distance learning and in-person learning, there's additional costs there. There's going to be help for businesses that have been really hit by this pandemic. I think it's good to have that targeted. There's going to be help for working families with unemployment extensions. Now, I haven't seen the language to make sure all those things are in there, but that's what I've been told is in there.
Tester doesn't like that there isn't much help for local governments. He says that could translate to higher property taxes down the road as cities and counties try to make up their shortfalls. Well, leaders of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes are expressing excitement over the nomination of New Mexico Congresswoman Deb Holland as the Secretary of the Interior. If approved, she will be the first Native American to head the Interior Department and hold a position in a presidential cabinet. Holland is a member of the Laguna Pueblo people and has served as Congresswoman for New Mexico's 1st District since last year. Now, that includes Albuquerque and its suburbs. She was one of the first Native American women elected to Congress. Her nomination by President-elect Joe Biden builds on her experience as a chair of the House Natural Resources Subcommittee, working with national parks and public lands. Here in Montana, the nomination is getting a thumbs up in Indian country.
She's a Westerner, and I just look forward to having a good meeting with her and talk about the challenges that we have on our public lands and how we can make them more accessible for folks who want to enjoy them.
If confirmed, Holland would oversee 70,000 employees, 500 million acres of land, and 62 national parks, along with working with 1.9 million Indigenous Americans. Well, it's a limited opening, but Bridger Bowl ski area is open for the season. There's limited acreage, and the number of people on the mountain is also cut a little short. So this year you need to make a reservation 4 days ahead. Lessons are still available as well. It's time now to check in with meteorologist Ed McIntosh to find out if there's some snow headed to those mountains.
There is, but we also are looking for some breaks in the clouds too, because there's a chance to check out something fun in the sky. Go ahead and take a look. We got this picture from Mary that's showing Jupiter and Saturn above the Earth here, as you can see the moon there, and then where Jupiter and Saturn just towards the top of your screen, and they're going to get closer and closer together, at least appear that way in the sky as we get a little bit closer towards Monday. And actually, it's a great time to watch this right now. They'll appear as a very bright light up in the sky. Look towards the southwest. It'll fade a little bit towards the west by the time we start getting into the morning hours, and it'll be especially bright on Monday, which not only will be the best day for that, but there's also an meteor shower to watch, and it is the longest night of the year, so even better viewing there. We'll take a closer look at the forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, thousands in the oil industry have lost their jobs this year. Many Montanans who left for work in traditionally heavy oil-producing states have been forced to come back home. The executive director for the Montana Petroleum Association suggests out-of-work oil and men and women should look for careers where their skills overlap. And one engineer from Joliet says it's important to put yourself out there and keep contacts within the oil industry.
Whether you have work or not, okay, and then call these guys once a month, put on a piece of paper, just make sure. So when you do need work, when they do have something coming, make sure that you're accessible to them other than just LinkedIn, that, you're on speed dial on their phone.
Experts point to a reduction in travel as the reason for the downturn in the industry, as many people now work from home. Well, right now in Bozeman, dogs are dealing with their own contagious virus. Kennel cough is a collection of different viruses and bacteria that cause an upper respiratory infection in dogs and cats. It's highly contagious and in serious cases can lead to pneumonia and more serious conditions.
2 to 3 weeks ago, we were seeing 3 to 4 cases a day just at our veterinary clinic. In the past week, it's probably down to about 1 case per day. So I'd say it seems like we're through the worst of it, but it is something that can come back pretty quickly.
If you suspect your dog or cat might be suffering from the virus, you should reach out to your pet's primary care physician immediately and refrain from bringing your dog around other animals. Well, the Christmas dinner tradition returns to Great Falls this year with a few changes. The 28th annual Dannyburg Memorial Christmas Dinner will go on as planned, but meals will be carry-out or home delivery only. Now, the concept was founded by the late Dannyburg, a Montana Air National Guard Master Sergeant, who said no one should have to spend Christmas dinner alone. The traditional free dinner, complete with more than 50 turkeys, is made possible by community donations and prepared by volunteers from the Montana Air National Guard. In past years, the dinner has served up to 600 Great Falls area seniors and residents in need. This year, the dinner is dedicated to the memory of longtime chairman Wade Gale, who passed away in March. Wade's daughter, who is serving as honorary chair, says with COVID-19 restrictions, this year's event takes on added importance.
I mean, this has been a hard year. There are people who have lost their businesses this year. I think that the spirit of giving in which the Dannyburg Memorial Dinner was started is more important in our community than ever.
The dinner will be held on Christmas Day from noon to 3. Meals can be picked up at the Great Falls Senior Center or can be delivered. For reservations, people are asked to call 788-3211. More information can also be found on the Dannyburg Memorial Dinner Facebook page. Well, we have more ahead on your new news this Friday. A teacher on the Blackfeet Reservation is spreading Christmas cheer and going viral at the same time. That story ahead. But first, as we head into the weekend, meteorologist Ed McIntosh has your statewide weather forecast. Don't go away.